Welcome to Inland Blue Studios. Today I'm going to go through the track Fool's Paradise and kind of break down how this is all built. And this is a fun one because there's so much stuff on here that, I'm trying to push the boundaries of what I can do sonically in this studio and come up with some new ideas and some new tones. So this whole thing starts, I decided to not use a real kick drum. I wanted to use kind of an EDM kick sound. So I kind of started with this. Actually, it's this one is even more like an 80s rap tune, like something you would hear on Run-D.M.C. Nice big echoey kick drum. And then to add some fun to this, I threw in a real snare. So I originally played the whole thing on real drums and then pulled the kick out and replaced it with sampled kicks or electronic kicks. And then to fatten up this snare and give it a really cool, more modern sounding thing, I added a bunch of different snares on top of it. So you can hear them. Here's one. Okay, here's another. Almost an industrial sound. And then we got some claps. And when you put them all together, it's a nice big fat, fun sound. Now I did use samples for the hi-hats. So let me throw those in. But of course, if you know me, I'm not going to just do sampled drums. So I went back and I added some heavy floor toms into this. Let me just solo those. There's one, and then here's the other. And together, one a little brighter, one a little more muted. Let's put all of those in together, and you get this big, fat, almost primitive sounding. Super fun. That's a fun place to start. And if you throw the bass on top of that, you can kind of see where how the groove starts to take shape. So the fun thing about this bass is I did like I did on Dynamite, and we threw a little distorted amp simulator on there, and it added a real nice fun tone. It's a little off. You can feel the tempo's a little weird. There are imperfections. And I've said this a million times. It's those imperfections that separate a programmed song to a song that uses electronic sounds and has some authenticity to it. And that's so important, to leave some imperfections and not have it be perfect. Because otherwise you may as well do AI and have the computer do it for you. You want to have some flaws, because the flaws are what make it cool. I mean, listen to Led Zeppelin's albums. They aren't perfect, and that's what makes them great, is that you can hear every note that Page went for and didn't quite get, All right, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. So let's solo these drum tracks, all 800 of them, and let's throw in the bass. Let's see what's happening on the guitars. So here's the first guitar track. Okay, that's fun. And then we also have this very ZZ Top inspired vibe. When you put them together, it's a fun groove. They're playing a lot of the same rhythms, but not the same parts. And it is kind of a fun little mixture of the two. Let's see, do I have any other guitar stuff going on? All right, so let's start looking at some of the other sections of the song. Because I know when we get to the choruses, a whole lot happens. So we've got 4 tracks of heavy guitars here. Let's just start looking at these. Let's solo these out. So we've got, let's see. So you got like an octave thing going on. Very fun. Giving you the 1 and the 5. Or actually the 1 and the 1. Octave, duh. So that one's kind of fun too. It's a nice little, the part to bounce off the other one. Same general rhythm. Let's see what's happening on this next one. So these are the heavies here. And let's see what the 4th one sounds like. So that one's a little meatier. So a little more holding those longer notes, and when you put them all together, it's a nice vibe together. Yeah, good stuff. And I love to layer guitars like that rather than just duplicating the guitars to find them different voicings or different placement on the neck. It really helps fill out the breadth of the song. Now the really fun stuff is when you get to this chorus, I start dropping in some keyboards. So you've got kind of an old melodrama, old soap opera or like an old radio play soundtrack. But something else that I put in that's a little more modern, or at least, more modern than the 30s and 40s. I put in what I call the Dre keyboard. I don't know why there was 2 notes there, but okay. So yeah, and you get those together, it's a nice fun mix. Now, by themselves, they don't sound all that awesome, but you throw some of these other things in, and we get all these guitars going. And let's just put it all in. Actually, it'd be easier just to mute, wouldn't it? Let's not go into vocal world yet. Mute those. Mute those. So why I call it the Dre sound is you get into this second section. A little homage to my junior high and high school days. A little bit of that Dr. Dre keyboard vibe. All right, what else do we have going on in here? Let's see, we've got a lot of vocal happening. Any new surprises in here? Oh, there's a solo. Let's see if we can find this solo. There's the solos right there. Oh, I almost forgot. So we've got this really fun, I wanted to do something that was more modern. I tried to use a lot of my toys. I bought a lot of pedals and plugins and all kinds of stuff. And one of the toys that I've been dying to find a place for is it's a Boss synthesizer pedal for guitar. And it gives you a wide range of things you can do with it. And it's the kind of thing that Muse would use. But I have been having a hard time finding a spot for it, especially in this kind of music. And I was fooling around and I came across this, and it still has, well, I'll just play it for you. See, especially on the high note, you can hear the keyboard sound. So yeah, it's kind of a fun little addition to the whole tune. You put it all together and you get... So it almost gives you a horn part feel. And then, you know, of course, if you do that and you get to the second verse, you want to, you know, go to the next step. So on the second verse, I added a harmony. So there's the original part. And then... And then we get to the solo. And I thought, how fun would it be to have a, you know, very Tom Morello inspired solo, in the sense that he likes to take odd sounds that the guitar makes and turn it into a solo. I don't know if I'm adventurous enough to go as far as he goes, but I definitely wanted to try using this sound and see what a solo would sound like with it. So you're getting almost like an octave pedal sound, but you're also getting those keyboard tones up at the top. And I wanted the solo section to drop out the same way the verses do. They have this big, you know, rumbling groove, and then it just stops and it's just vocal. Which, speaking of which, let's go see what happened with these vocals. Let's check those out. Back to the beginning. All right, what do we got?
We'll tear down the mountains and corrupt the skies. We dig in our heels and won't compromise.
So you got that real low quality, like a telephone effect, like an old telephone, and a little bit of distortion on it, so you can get that kind of almost a megaphone or a bullhorn vibe. I love that, and I got a lot of that idea for that kind of thing from watching Rod Piazza play, and he uses his harmonica mic and sings through it in the amp as well as his regular mic, and it kind of gives you that effect as well. So very cool.
We'll tear down the mountains and corrupt the skies. We dig in our heels and won't compromise.
And I originally had a drum part that went underneath that, and I really didn't like that it just kept the groove going. I wanted it to just completely drop out. This is what it used to be.
Reject the truth and embrace the lies. We won't see with the wool pulled over our eyes.
But it's like, we don't need that. So I got rid of that, and
and demonize anyone different than me.
So I really liked that it all kind of drops out and then comes back in. All right, so let's get back to some of these other vocals. Turn these on. Let's skip ahead to that chorus. I think I have something on that shouldn't be on. Maybe it's this. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that's what's on. This shouldn't be on. Okay. let's see what's happening there. You've got, we worship sin and vice. So again, not perfect. Probably could have done that a little better, but that was the point. It should feel like there's some live quality to it. So when you put that with the main vocal, you get almost that Axl Rose vibe, that Guns N' Roses thing. We worship sin and vice. And I like that. It fattens up the chorus without doing a harmony, without just doubling the note. We worship sin and vice in our paradise. So you got a lot more effect on this vocal as opposed to the verse vocal, because if you remember, you're looking at
demonize anyone different than me.
Very raw. I mean, I don't even know if there's a little tiny bit of reverb on there, but not much. Just enough so it doesn't feel uncomfortable. And then, of course, we get through the chorus, and I added this big choir of voices doing a call and response thing. So you got a lot of stuff happening here. You can hear the guitars answering. Let's skip ahead a bit. There's your solo. Let's skip to the end here. So the concept is, you're doing the same chorus, or you might be doing the same verse pattern, but you have to add something. It has to grow from part to part so that it just doesn't repeat the same thing. So with this one, I decided to go up higher on the little chorus part. Here's the two parts. We worship sin and vice. Again, not matched perfect. It should feel kind of live. That's the goal. Okay, so there's a little something extra, and I didn't really cover this track, but you can see as we get to these parts here, there's a little something extra thrown in. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for here. This other floor tom. So you get to these moments.
About being a man.
So let's hear that again in context. It's almost like a timpani. And I use that again at the end. In fact, I used two of them because I really wanted that end to be kind of huge. Now let's hear that in context. So yeah, lots of fun, cool little parts in there. And I will say this record has been a blast to make because of all the crazy experimental things that I've thrown in, and just being here banging on giant drums and finding cool samples and all that. Anyway, if you're enjoying these things, give it a like, hit subscribe, and I got a whole lot more of these for you.